Hey friends, I'm Sam, and if you're short on space for entertaining, then today we're gonna fix that by building an easy, compact table with a secret. This is a fun project that'll save space in your home, look really cool, and will wow your guests.
Wow.
Did I also mention that we're gonna do this all in one weekend? Yeah, so let's stop wasting time with this intro and let's get started. I know that you can't tell from the outfit that I'm wearing or the fact that it's 90 degrees outside, but the fall is coming and that means that I'm coming up on year 2 of owning my house, which is like wild to think about. If you've been around for a while, then you will know that I've just been so deep into home renovation content lately, and I'm gonna be quite honest, your girl is burnt out. I'm tired. I'm craving a project that is gonna be good for my soul. If you've been here for a while, you'll know that my roots really started in the small space, weekend warrior, multi-purpose project realm, especially because when I started content creation, I was living in a 300 square foot studio apartment and I was juggling a full-time education and then I was juggling a full-time job on top of creating content. So those small space, multi-purpose weekend projects were my jam. Those were my jam. In my brain, I've been thinking of this cool idea for like essentially a piece of art that you hang on your wall, but it's also secretly a table that folds down from that piece of art and then also has storage in the back for things like, I don't know, wine bottles, cutting boards. Because not only do I just want to build one, holiday season's coming and I know that a lot of people who do live in smaller spaces are looking for creative ways to entertain family and friends. So like, let's do it, right? Now here's where we throw a little bit of a wrench in things. I have this like awesome habit of purchasing a ton of lumber when I do projects and then not returning the extra lumber that I purchased. So over the past 2 years, I've just been like collecting a lot of stuff and my workshop's feeling really full right now. So my goal is to not spend a single penny on lumber for this project. I'm gonna be dipping into my personal reserves for this project. And now, yes, I know most people don't have full project panels or multiple 1x6 by 8 footers laying around their garages. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to make a formal materials list for this project, and I'm also going to make printable PDF plans for it as well, and I will link both of those in the video description below as always for anybody who wants to make this project for their own space. That being said though, it is Saturday morning. I literally only have one weekend to make this because I'm leaving on Monday for a business trip. So there's not a lot of time, friends. Let's stop talking. Let's get started. So I know what you're thinking. Sam, why aren't you using the perfectly good table saw that's right behind you to cut this piece of wood? When I was living in a small space, I did not have a table saw, and so I want to build this not using a table saw. So I'm gonna use instead a circular saw and a circular saw guide. I love this guide so much, I'll link it in my materials list, but I'm gonna use that to cut down these 2 project panels I have in my shop to make the front of the art piece, which will be the leg of the table, and then the tabletop itself. Now that the front has been cut and the tabletop has been cut, it's time to make the frame that it's going to hide inside of. I want to have enough room in that frame to be able to store things in, so I'm going to be using 1x6s for the frame. It's going to be a little bulky. It's not obviously going to look like an art piece because it's going to hang off the wall 5.5 inches, but this dimension can be changed based on what you want it to look like. I'm just giving you a heads up. Friends, jumping in for a second here, if you don't have a miter saw, you could totally use a circular saw for all of these cuts, which is a great option if you are limited on tools. I'm gonna assemble this entire cabinet using pocket hole joinery. This is a really simple and strong way to create pretty much anything. Usually I use an automated pocket hole system that drills the pocket holes for me, but in the theme of keeping things simple, when I had my small shop, I didn't have a foreman, so today we're just gonna use a smaller version of the pocket hole jig. Well, this is like the medium-sized version, but this is the one I always recommend to people. We're gonna drill some pocket holes in the top and the bottom pieces, and then we're gonna get this box assembled, and then we're gonna start attaching some shelves the same exact way. Now, I know I was just talking about having limited access to tools. If you don't have a pocket hole jig, you can easily screw these together using screws, but totally feel free to screw these pieces directly to the frame and just cover those up later with some plugs. If you've followed me on this channel, you will know that typically I don't love exposed pocket holes in my projects. I actually can't stand looking at them. I'm sorry to anybody who actually likes looking at pocket holes, but I picked up these plugs. They're actually really great. They literally are made by the same company. It's a little dark, but you can see they're plugs that you stick in the holes of the pocket holes, and then you don't really have to look at the pocket holes. So these are not the perfect fix, but they're better than nothing. And what I like to do is add some glue, push it all the way in. We're gonna kind of keep the excess glue. In fact, I'm gonna spread it around a little bit here, because when we sand now, I want some of the sawdust to fill in the gaps. And again, it's not perfect. Typically, I would paint these so that you'd never see them again, but I actually want to keep this piece a natural color. And so this is just kind of going to be a Band-Aid. It's not the perfect solution, but it's better than nothing. And like I said, this is a weekend project. Pocket holes are easy. Like I said, not perfect, but better than looking at that. See that difference? Yeah, I prefer that. All right, friends, now we're gonna add some shelves. I cut some 1x4s for this because I do want the front panel to be a little inset. I already actually drilled the pocket holes in these as well. You already saw me do that. You don't gotta see me do it again. If you really want to, you could go back and watch me drill more pocket holes, but I figured probably a little boring. All right, jumping on in here, following my pocket hole rant, to just quickly tackle talking about these shelves. So I chose to install shelves for wine bottles and cutting boards and all those things that make me happy, but feel free to configure these shelves for a build like this any way you'd like. Side note, I did also use narrower boards for this part of the project, so the front of the table can sit inside of the frame, but more specific details about that are in the plans, which are linked below this video, you know, in case you're feeling frisky and want to build one of these for your own place. Everything is plugged, shelf is sanded. The only thing I really need to do construction-wise for the frame at this point is I want to add some supports to the top and to the bottom because I want to screw this directly into the studs in the wall so that it obviously doesn't fall off the wall. So I'm going to screw these 1x2s, one up here, two down here, and then I'll have a really nice strong cleat to screw into the actual studs of the walls. Now, once those shelves were built, I also added some supports to the back of the artwork table thingy, and that way I have a spot to hang it up on the wall. Let's get some finish on this. It's so weird that I'm not choosing to stain this like a walnut color. Who am I? And once the frame was built, it was time to add some finish. I usually like to stain things pretty dark for our house, but I was really digging this color combo of the light frame, and you'll see the art piece in a little bit. Spoiler alert, it's rad. But I just decided to add a clear coat to the frame to keep the color intact. And because I like to multitask, as that dried, I moved on to creating my art piece. It's still Saturday, which is great. That means I'm getting a lot of work done today. So now that everything has a coat of finish on it, is drying, I really want to get started working on this custom artwork. Now, I really want to do something fun and easy and creative that has like a different texture to it than the rest of the wood. And I've actually really been wanting to try this like trendy joint compound art thing. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna throw some joint compound on this front board, which is going to act as the piece of artwork, but also as the table leg. And let's see how it works. I've literally never done this before, so let's have some fun. So quick disclaimer, I am by no means an expert in joint compound art. In fact, I've literally never done this before, so I had no clue what to expect. I tried to be neat about it, that didn't work, so I ended up just like slapping a whole bunch of joint compound onto the front of this piece of wood, which is gonna be the front of the art piece and the table leg, and I just like went to town with no actual game plan. Maybe we'll just go real organic with it. So sticking with this theme of using what you got, I actually used a broken hair clip to make the design on the front of this piece of art. And yeah, Once I was happy with the design, it was then time to let this art piece dry and revisit it the next day to finish it up. I think this looks kind of cool, actually. There are a couple things that I just want to like sand and fix up, and then I want to throw some paint on this, but I think it looks cool. It's really more organic than I typically would do for artwork, but I guess that's the point, so all good. Let's sand this a little bit. Let's get some paint on it. Let's get this hung up. So I know I just got done literally explaining that I had no idea what I was doing in this part of the process, and I don't know, I feel like it turned out kind of cool. But yeah, in an effort to kind of use what I've got and not spend a ton of money on this build, I did end up using some leftover paint in like a charcoal gray and a black and like slapping it on this art piece. It did kind of take away from the dimension a little bit, but it looks really cool hanging up, so trust me on this one. I'm gonna hang this, so I actually eventually am pretty sure I want this to live in our basement, but I'm not tackling our basement renovation right now. And so instead I'm gonna hang this in my shop for final photos to show everybody what it looks like. It's a little strange, but since I have a whole blank wall here, why not? I actually cut a spacer for this, and this spacer is the same height as the table. That way, when I fold it down, it's gonna hit the ground. So this does accommodate for the width of the tabletop plus the hinges I'm using and the bottom of the cabinet. I'm pretty sure my math is gonna add up on this one. Up here as if it were closed, and it looks amazing. I took a bonus hinge that I had and then like literally fully traced the template onto the cabinet, and now I'm just going to screw those into there. Hopefully it opens and closes. I want this to be like in the musicals when someone's about to do something really difficult and then like everyone just breaks out into song and starts singing for her. My goodness, I'm gonna have to put a magnet in there to hold it up so it doesn't fall on someone, but don't get too excited, you have to still add the bottom part. Come on, let's add the bottom part. Ooh, that's gonna look kind of cool. Okay, moment of truth, let's try this. Round two, I think it's gonna work this time. Ready, Arrow? Yes! Yay! I'd let it go for this happy dance, but then it's gonna fall on us. So I think the only thing I need to do is put some sort of latch on it just because it wants to like fall forward. I'm almost positive that magnets are not gonna work for this because where it's falling forward is up top, and the magnets I have, I mean, I could screw them in here, but maybe I'll do that actually. Maybe I'll screw some magnets in. And the only thing I have to do is figure out, like, maybe I need to put a pull or something. I'm gonna take a snack break and then we're gonna figure this out. I got myself lunch. I got myself some coffee. I got myself some hardware. I got myself a brand new attitude. So I really wasn't sure if a magnet would hold up the weight of the entire table flush inside the frame, but I decided to try it anyway, and spoiler alert, it worked. I really hope this works. I heard a click. Oh my God, it's in there, isn't it? I wanna put a small handle on the bottom. Check this thing out. So I found this at the hardware store. All it is just like a flat handle. So I'm gonna attach that to the bottom. We just need to do some touch-up paint, some touch-up stuff, and we're done. Now, yeah, last step was to add a handle. It was really hard to open the actual table without a handle, but I didn't want it to look like there was a handle. I wanted it to look like there was art. So I added this like really cool slim handle, and it looks great. And then once that was done, it was time for touch-ups, and this project was done in one weekend, like I promised. Friends, how much fun was this weekend build? I am so excited about the way that this like Murphy table, fold down table, hidden bar thing. Title's a work in progress. So, like I said, I've been craving a really fun, multi-purpose, easy weekend build for the longest time, and I feel like my soul has been fueled by this project. This is such a great project for friends who are living in small spaces or are just looking to maximize whatever size space that they're living in. Whether you use this as a fold down table or like a Murphy office or I don't know, like a hidden bar, the possibilities are honestly endless. I love that you can just customize this to your heart's content, from the custom size to the shelves to the artwork that goes on the front. There are just so many fun options for a project like this. I personally had so much fun building this project. I hope that you all love this project as much as I did. If so, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell. Also, if you want to see more easy weekend multi-purpose projects, please let me know in the comments below. I know I've been doing a ton of home reno content and really big projects, but like I said, projects like this just like feed my soul. So I would love to do more of these if you guys are interested in seeing them. Speaking of projects though, I have so many projects to do. My brain is just on overdrive in this house. So I'm gonna get a move on the next video on the channel. I will see you all soon with a project, I promise. But until then, friends, happy DIYing.